precisely 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. The President urges the entire opposition to join the government in addressing the country's challenges. Foreign Minister Ali Sabri says if the country's reforms are steadfast and sustainable, Sri Lanka will be able to attract investments. Applications will be called for interest-free student loan scheme from today. Price of literal gas will come down tonight. The annual Kataragama SLBC festival will end today. In foreign news, France riots ease as mayors hold anti-violence rally. In sports, Sri Lanka women seal the ODI series 2-1, their first ever bilateral win over New Zealand. We move on to local news in detail now. President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized the importance of avoiding misleading arguments and instead urged the entire opposition, led by the opposition leader, to join the government in addressing the country's challenges. These remarks were made by President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Amaraviru Abhiman 32 ceremony, which honoured Mr. Mahinda Amaravira, the Minister of Agriculture, for his 32-year political career. Addressing the gathering, the President said, "Now our focus is on promoting agriculture in the country, particularly export-oriented agriculture. We have mainly concentrated on meeting our domestic food requirements thus far, but it is time to produce crops that the world demands. To achieve this, we have launched a large-scale agricultural modernization effort. The comprehensive plan for the development of livestock resources is also in progress." Foreign Minister Ali Sabri says that during his visit to China last week, he met representatives of the China harbour and they confirmed an investment of $1.2 billion into the port city, while Sinopec has expressed interest in investing in a refinery. He said if the country's reforms are steadfast and sustainable, Sri Lanka will be able to attract investments. Therefore, all political parties must unite and build up confidence among investors and people to strengthen the economy. He made these remarks addressing a media briefing held at the Presidential Media Centre yesterday. State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siambalapitiya says that the calling of applications for the interest-free student loan scheme to 5,000 students who have faced the GCE Advanced Level Examination in the years 2019, 2020 and 2021 for their higher education in private universities will commence from today. The State Minister pointed out that the students who obtain the relevant loan facility need to follow job-oriented courses. He added that the project to provide interest-free loans to 5,000 students for their higher studies in private universities for the years 2019, 2020 and 2021 has been approved. It is currently scheduled to be announced by the Ministry of Education. Accordingly, the students who have faced the GCE A-level examination in relevant years can apply for this loan scheme from today to the 7th of July. Minister Siambalapitiya further said that this is a special decision taken by the government for the need for higher education in the country, adding that the entire interest for this program is borne by the government for the education of the students. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news. We continue with more stories here at home. The price of a 12.5 kilogram gas cylinder is expected to go below 3,000 rupees for the first time this year. Chairman of Litro Gas Company, Mudita Piri, said new price reduction will be effective midnight today. He said this will be the fourth consecutive monthly price reduction based on the government's gas pricing formula. Last month, the price of a 12.5 kilogram Litro domestic gas cylinder was reduced by 452 rupees to 3,186 rupees. Furthermore, the price of a 5 kilogram LP gas cylinder was reduced by 181 rupees to 1,281 rupees, while the price of 2.3 kilogram Litro gas cylinder was reduced by 83 rupees to 598 rupees. The annual Kataragama SLBC festival will end today. That's after the day Perahara parades the streets. The traditional water cutting ritual was held at the Manik River, this morning. The final procession of the Ruhunu Kataragama Mahadevala paraded the streets last night. Kataragama Asala festival commenced on the 19th of June, and from that day, street piraharas were held with many beautiful dances and cultural items. Basnayaka Nilame of the Kataragama Mahadevalaya, Dishan Gunasekara, says that a recorded crowd arrived at the sacred Kataragama premises to view the Pirahara festival this year after a lapse of several years due to COVID-19 pandemic and the economic crisis. That's local news for the moment.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
It has been proposed to issue revenue licenses on a concessional basis to old vehicles that have been parked unused for many years without obtaining the revenue license. Department of Motor Traffic Commissioner General Nishanta Anuruddha Veerasinghe said a number of vehicles have been left unused due to having to pay a large fine for re-registration. The Commissioner General further said that the proposal in this regard would be presented to the Cabinet for approval.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And on Watchlight, the number of cases of dengue reported in the country so far in 2023 is nearing 50,000. The National Dengue Control Unit said 49,759 dengue cases have been reported in the country thus far in 2023. The number of deaths linked to dengue has also increased to 31 as of last week. Among the cases, 24,837 have been confirmed from the Western Province. Furthermore, nearly 10,000 dengue cases were confirmed in the month of June. The National Dengue Control Unit has announced that it has declared 61 areas as high-risk zones for dengue. The health authorities request the public to continue mosquito breeding control efforts and keep their premises free of mosquitoes. That came to you on Watchlight. Moving on to World News headlines. France riots ease as mayors hold anti-violence rally. New Zealand bans plastic bags for fresh produce in supermarkets. UK Met Office says the hottest June since records began. World news in detail. Riots in France appear to be calming after 5 days of violent protests in response to the shooting of a teenager, Nahel M., during a police traffic stop. Sunday night saw violence subside and few arrests were made. However, President Emmanuel Macron has asked the Interior Minister to keep a massive police presence on the streets. Mayors called yesterday for rallies to be held outside town halls to protest the violence and looting. New Zealand has become the world's first country to expand its ban on plastic bags in supermarkets to thin bags, which are typically used to hold fruits or vegetables. The move, which took effect on Saturday, is part of a wider government campaign against single-use plastics. Most shoppers already bring their own bags to stores after take-home plastic bags were banned in 2019. In recent years, many countries have imposed a fee or ban on plastic bags. Finally on World News, the UK had the hottest June on record, the Met Office has confirmed. The average monthly temperature of 15.8 Celsius exceeded the previous highest average June temperature recorded in 1940 and 1976 by 0.9 Celsius. Climate change made the chance of surpassing the previous joint record at least twice as likely, scientists also said. Records were broken in 72 of the 97 areas in the UK from which temperature data is collected. That's on World News.
Development News is brought to you by
Vacancies for women from Deshakti Lanka for housemaids in Kuwait, Oman and Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 58 years. Contact number 037 7500 500.
The German Lanka Institute of Climate Technologies plans to set up a climate technology training institute in Sri Lanka shortly. This was discussed in detail with Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena when a team from the proposed institution met him recently. The German Lanka Institute of Climate Technologies is a capacity builder and a technology transfer platform for sustainable climate-friendly technologies with a focus on renewable energy, modern agriculture, and electric mobility. The project is designed for comprehensive skills development programs by providing theoretical and practical knowledge, industrial training, and also research and development exposure, all within the proposed project facility.
Vacancies for women from Deshakti Lanka for housekeepers, home cooks, caretakers and home nurses in Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia and Singapore for ages 23 to 57 years. Salaries starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews with foreign agents are now on. Come whether you have a passport or not. Branches, Colombo, Kurunagala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 0377 500 500.
And on sports news, Chamari Athapattu's 8th ODI 100, an unbeaten 80-ball 140 helped Sri Lanka ease to an 8-wicket victory via the DLS method against New Zealand in Galle. The result meant Sri Lanka sealed the ODI series 2-1, their first ever bilateral win over New Zealand. Chasing a revised target of 196 in 29 overs, Sri Lanka seemed to be in a spot of bother at 6 for 2, with both Vishmi Gunaratne and Harshita Samaravikrama falling early. However, Athapattu launched a counter-attack, racing to the 3-figure mark of just 60 deliveries. In total, she hit 13 fours and 9 sixes, and in the process moved up to join fourth on the list of most ODI hundreds in women's cricket. While Athapattu was the aggressor, Nilakshi De Silva also pitched in with an unbeaten 48 as the pair added 190 runs for the third wicket, Sri Lanka's highest ever partnership in ODIs, to seal the win with 8 wickets and 13 balls to spare. That's on sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
International Tea Day 2023 placed special emphasis on smallholder tea growers who make up to 70% of the Sri Lankan tea industry. Sri Lanka Tea Board sources say Sri Lanka's tea crop is now reviving following the organic fertilizer policy, issues regarding the daily wages of tea pickers, the new direct planting initiative, and what more needs to be done to ensure the sustainability of Sri Lanka's tea industry. Sri Lanka's tea production suffered last year, and the country lost about 48 million kilos, which is about 1/5 of Sri Lanka's usual production in the recent 5 to 10 years. Therefore, everybody wants to get some kind of Ceylon tea, and the prices go up. That's on Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news.
Sri Lanka's Ceylon medium grown tea prices gained 50 to 150 rupees per kilogram at the weekly auction on the 27th of June, data showed. High grown prices fell 50 to 100 rupees, while low grown prices were mostly steady. Total auction volume declined to 5.7 million kilos from the last week's 6.4 million kilograms.
Weather report.
The prevailing showery condition over the southwestern parts of the island is expected to continue. Showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and the northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Matara districts. Heavy showers about 150 millimeters are likely at some places in the Sabaragamuwa province and in the Kandy and Nuwara districts. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters are likely at some places in the western province and in the Galle and Matara districts. Few showers are likely in the north northern province. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batikla districts during the evening or at night. Fairly strong winds, about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times on the western slopes of the Central Hills, the North Central province, and in the Puttalam, Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. That's the weather update. Before we wind up this bulletin of news, back to the headlines. The President urges the entire opposition to join the government in addressing the country's challenges. Foreign Minister Ali Sabri says if the country's reforms are steadfast and sustainable, Sri Lanka would be able to attract investments. Applications will be called for interest-free student loan scheme from today. Price of literal gas will come down tonight. The annual Katragama SLBC festival will end today. Foreign news, France riots ease as mayors hold anti-violence rally. In sports, Sri Lanka women sealed the ODI series 2-1, their first ever bilateral win over New Zealand. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news, and it's back to Sound Day this morning.